Why aren't we wearing hearing protection? I'm serious. I'm really asking you, why aren't we wearing hearing protection? In this video, I want to talk about why we're not. I want to go through some common reasons why we're not wearing hearing protection and a lot of stuff that I hear when I'm out in the world. And then I'm going to give you some helpful tips going forward. Then we're going to talk about some sciencey stuff. Just kidding. All joking aside, what I really want to do in this video is I want to give you something that can help you out in your life. I do want to make this engaging. I want to make it fun for you, make you kind of laugh and have an enjoyable process while you have to learn about something that's really, really boring. And so you'll be able to learn something, understand this, and maybe if it's worth your time, you'll be able to share this. So let's return to the question, why aren't we wearing hearing protection? And so what I recommend is, like everything else, just Google it. You'll see a very long list of very similar things that happen in the world. In the list of reasons why we're not choosing to wear hearing protection are, they cause over-reduction, and they can be extremely dangerous. They can end up you getting maimed, killed, or fall into a machine, crash a motorcycle, lose your job, or if you're a musician, you lose your spot in the orchestra, or you get kicked out of a band because you will lose the ability to play your music, or you lose the color of your music. They're all very credible things within this one. The next one is sizing problems. People can't wear them, they're too uncomfortable, they are too big. If you look at like an EAR Classic, it's like this big yellow foam block thingy that you jam in the side of your head. Works for some people, sucks for others, but it's made for the average. There's some tutorial videos that help you break it down, like roll it up and jam it in the side of your head by the guy who invented it actually. He's behind the entire industry of generic earplugs and really invented something that was like pretty awesome because it is hearing protection, and hearing protection is hearing protection. There are different qualities of it. Get into that later, but a lot of times it comes down to fit issues and people just finding that earplugs suck, they're uncomfortable. Generic earplugs are really a tough thing. A lot of earplugs are a tough thing. There's just a lot of sizing problems. The next one kind of goes hand in hand to that. They are a style murderer. If you're wearing your bedazzled bow tie or your nice dress, it ain't gonna match it. It had these weird colored things sticking out of the side of your head. People are gonna look at you, you're gonna get judged. You're probably judging me right now because I have mine in. It is what it is. It's not gonna match your dog. It's not gonna match your outfit. You're not gonna look cool in it. You're not gonna show up to a party and someone's gonna call you out and say, oh my God, you're so cool, man. You have your earplugs in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're like the coolest guy in the room. It ain't gonna happen. You're probably gonna get ostracized. Someone's probably gonna make fun of you. You're gonna get some weird looks. But you know what? It is what it is. The next one is accessibility. For those of you who work in the industrial facilities, for those of you who work in certain areas, or if you're a musician, or if you shoot guns, or if you ride motorcycles, a lot of the claims are that they're not accessible. You can't get your hands on them. No one's made them available to you. Maybe you didn't grow up with them in your family. They just weren't accessible to you. The next one is training. So nobody really taught you how to put an earplug in your head properly, or nobody taught you when you should wear hearing protection, what environments you should wear hearing protection, or anything else like that. Next one is choice. So some people feel very limited by the choice of options in the world. Another one is, and it's a really sad one, it really bothers me, is a lot of times people don't want to be ostracized for being a sissy or being overly sensitive or not fitting into a group because you wear earplugs. It is a determining factor whether people do or do not wear hearing protection. All of these things that I've just listed are incredibly valid reasons. However, what we have also identified is that all of these are amazing excuses. These are all great BS excuses that companies use to not protect their people. These are awesome excuses that allow you to kind of justify the reason why you're not wearing hearing protection. And then another one is maybe you're just not thinking about it. And just because you have a great excuse of why you're not wearing hearing protection doesn't mean that your sound isn't gonna cause you hearing damage. And it doesn't mean that you can't change your habits and start wearing hearing protection, even if you do already have substantial hearing damage, or if you already are on the path to having tinnitus, or any kind of even moderate hearing damage. You can change your habits and you can improve your life. And to have large, sweeping changes in the human species takes a very, very long time. I want to go back with you now to 1920. Hit the wrong button. What happened in 1920 was the first cases of asbestos-related disease. I mean, this is the 1920s. I want you to put yourself there. I mean, think about that. This Prohibition, Henry Ford, Charles Lindbergh, Amelia Earhart, Flappers, the film The Jazz Singer. I mean, Mickey Mouse had his first cameo in Steamboat Willie. The average human lifespan in the US was 54 years old. Really? That's the first related cases of asbestos. It took until the 1970s for our general population to get our minds around what asbestos is and how it is negatively affecting human beings in our environment. I mean, that's a long time. And it's still ongoing. The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and into 2010, and all the way up until now. I mean, we're almost in 2020, and we're still having asbestos-related cases happening in the world. Just because we are what we are, it just takes us time to adjust. And sadly, in the world of hearing protection, we understand that being directly dosed by damaging decibels will cause you hearing loss. And I guess if we're going to use asbestos as kind of a judgment of dire consequences of being exposed to something and not doing anything about it, it looks like at about 2070, we're going to start doing something about protecting our ears, because recently some really awesome stuff has happened. We've had our first major lawsuits against huge corporations that have sold faulty earplugs. 3M is having some major lawsuits with the US military. We're having some really great things happening. There's more public trials that are coming to light, and it's really promising for the hearing protection community, because this means that although these circumstances are awful, they absolutely suck for the people that have to live with hearing damage or tinnitus or any kind of negative repercussions because of faulty earplugs or bad training. It is really positive for the next group of people that are going to be coming through these programs, because they're going to have somebody on their side. You're not going to be looked at as an outcast because you decided to wear earplugs or because you asked somebody if you could have a set of earplugs. You're going to be looked at as somebody who wants to take care of their body. And public change, it sucks because it takes somebody to go under the bus to have something happen. However, the fact that these things are popping off left and right and people having these major issues, super famous, really popular, great bands are losing lead singers. I mean, we're losing amazing artists in the world because they can't play. They have too much tinnitus, or their hearing damage is so critically bad that they can't even get on stage and hear themselves sing. They can't even hear the band. They lose their tempo. I mean, it's an awful thing. There's got to be something that we can do about it, right? And the answer is an emphatic yes, there's something we can do about it. Now, just like all public change, just like all health changes, and like most other things in life that we're trying to have a positive impact on the world, they're hard to do. Changing your habits is a difficult thing. However, it is something that's plausible. It's something that you can do with a little bit of concerted effort. And I want to give you a couple tips that you can directly apply to your life to make it just a little bit better. So step number one is to educate yourself. You got to take some time. You have to be the one that wants to do this, because I can want this so bad for you. We can have sweeping overhaul changes in industrial facilities. We can make music programs force their kids to wear hearing protection. However, at the end of the day, if somebody isn't going to do this simple act right here, before they play their instrument, before they go into work, before you get on a motorcycle, before you go skydiving, before you work in your dental office, you don't do that right there. Put your earplug in your head. All of this is for nothing. And you go through Google, there's thousands of helpful articles about hearing protection. Do you know how many comments are on the bottom of them? Like 4. Out of thousands of these articles that give amazing information and amazing helpful advice on how you can improve your life, you got to go search out. You got to take the initiative, and you have to go out and you got to research this. You have to understand how sound impacts you. You have to understand how these different products can protect you, what products are right for you. Then understanding how sound pressure works. What is a decibel? What is the logarithmic scale of decibels? It's going to allow you to be a little bit more educated. And then if you are in a loud environment, you're going to understand, okay, you know what? I probably should be watching how much time I'm exposed to this and then do something about that. And then once you understand that, you can then change your habits accordingly. Then step 2 is to find what works for you. Going through and getting a whole wide range of products, you'll be able to see if maybe you're all the way over here, most entry-level basic earplugs, or you could be on the other spectrum, which is completely custom hearing protection. Once you find what works best for you, step number 3 is to stick with it. You gotta wear it for at least 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, there's books written on habit changing. I would recommend at least 90 days, but if you work it into your lifestyle and you find something that's comfortable, you're gonna be able to stick with it for at least 2 weeks. And then before you know it, it just becomes a habit in your life where you just put your earplugs in and you don't even think about it. Whenever you're gonna go do something loud, or if you understand and you make that link in your brain that whatever activity you choose, that you have the potential to be damaged, you're just gonna put your earplugs in and you won't even think about it. And then step number 4 is to go tell somebody about it. Tell a coworker, tell a family member, tell somebody that you like, tell somebody that you don't like, tell somebody you're indifferent to. It doesn't matter. Have a conversation with somebody about hearing protection and let them know if they work with you, if they do loud activities, if they're riding motorcycles, if they're skydiving, if they're even dentists, if they're a musician, If they do a lot of really loud activities, talk to them about hearing protection. Ask them if they're wearing something. And then if they're not, then guess what? You have a little bit of the information because you've done your research, and maybe you could recommend a product for them. Maybe you could help them get their minds around hearing protection. You can help somebody in your direct environment, somebody that you're with on a daily basis, or somebody that you're with in your community that you respect or love or like or whatever it is. You might hate them, but at least you're helping somebody. And that's how we can spread a positive message of hearing conservation. I mean, I spent about 200 days on the road, traveling the world, spreading the message of hearing conservation. And it's kind of worked. But the reality is that still nobody really cares about it. And what it's gonna take to get people to start caring about it is, sadly, first is repercussions, is somebody getting really hit hard, and these massive lawsuits, people getting irreparable, massive damage to their hearing to where they can never go back and they're gonna have to wear hearing aids, and it really sucks, but that's the way that social change goes. However, if we can make a concerted effort to have conversations with those in our direct environment, you can make a huge impact in your community. Because once you germinate the seed of change, you have a massive effect on the world. And that's what we want to do. We want to start small, and we want to just start with the individual, which is you watching this video that I'm talking to right now. I mean, I'm looking through you at this lens, but the reality is that I'm looking into your eyes right now, and I'm asking you to have a positive effect on your world. Go out and help somebody in the smallest way by maybe buying somebody a pair of earplugs, talking to somebody about hearing protection, maybe talking to your boss about getting a hearing conservation program within the place that you work. Taking positive steps forward is all that we can ever ask for, and that's what I ask of you. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, watch our other videos, and get a little bit more information, and go out there and have a positive change on our environment. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing you later.